Rachel Reeves says she wants to cut your taxes, but in reality, the Chancellor seems to be planning to take more of your money. Reports today say the Chancellor is drawing up plans to scrap council tax and stamp duty and replace them with a costly new proportional property tax that would hammer family homes. This is on top of inheritance tax raids and punishing levies driving wealth and investment out of Britain. As the age-old saying goes,
and socialist governments traditionally do make a financial mess. They always run out of other people's money. It's quite a characteristic of them.
There you go. The problem with the socialist government is simple. They're running out of other people's, that's your money, and they want more of it in every way. Well, I'm now joined by the socialist commentator Curtis Daly. Curtis, thank you very much for joining me. How do you think this plan would work? What is it being briefed that Rachel Reeves is trying to achieve?
I'm actually not sure. It's a strange one. I'm not particularly in favour of this policy because she's looking at, I mean, when I looked at the report of this, she wants to increase taxes on property that's £500,000 or more. Now, to be fair, £500,000 sounds like a lot of money, but we know the astronomical prices of housing these days. It's actually not, especially if you live in London. So the point of the tax system isn't, I mean, the myth here is that it funds public services, but really it's about an incentive structure. Now, there are people who might buy their first home, a couple buy their first home, could be in London, and it's worth £500,000. I don't think we should necessarily be penalising these people. We should be looking at wealth taxes on the super rich. I'm talking about the multimillionaires and billionaires, but there's a reason why Rachel Reeves won't do it. And it's the same reason why I don't think Reform will do it, or the Conservatives, is because massive corporate donors have funded these political parties. Now, corporate donors don't give to the Labour Party because they do it from the goodness of their heart. They want a return on investment. So they do not want Rachel Reeves instituting a wealth tax on the multimillionaires and billionaires, but they're looking at what you might say the middle class. And I don't think this is a good policy. It's not even a redistributive policy. It's not like this money is going to go to poorer incomes or public services because it's going to this £50 billion black hole. She's made a series of decisions which is so unpopular with the country. Last year, she decided to go after pensioners. And she went after disabled people and refuses to scrap the two-child benefit cap, which is keeping hundreds of thousands of children in poverty. And this time she's looking at menial taxes. Now, if this was taxes on second, third or fourth properties, I'd be with her because I think we should be taxing assets where people make a passive income off those assets. But it looks like these are going to be on potential homes that people live in, and that's a big problem.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I mean, I agree with you that a wealth tax wouldn't come in, but I think it's for different reasons, because it wouldn't actually work, because the people who would pay it would simply leave if it came in as proposed. What I think is really interesting and really important is your point that the taxes have to fall on the middle-income people. And that's always true, because they're the ones who can't leave, who have least ability to not take their income or whatever it is to arrange their affairs to minimise taxation. And that's the problem this government faces, is that actually the people it's always going to hit the most are people it wants to vote for it. And that isn't ultimately sustainable.
No, I mean, historically, first of all, I disagree with your characterization that wealthy people leave. We find that that's actually not the case. I mean, patriotic millionaires and tax justice debunks that myth, but we can talk about that in a second. But historically, the Labour Party have looked at income taxes, right? And I'm not necessarily opposed to increasing income taxes on the very richest, right? Although maybe not the middle class. The Labour Party historically hasn't done that. It's once again, it's because they don't want to introduce a proper wealth tax, because it really goes to the heart of the issue. I can't stress enough that we should be incentivizing those who want to buy a house. I mean, in 10, 20, 30 years' time, we could have lower than 50% home ownership. It's going down. We need to be taxing assets that's been hoarded. A really good example of this, actually, is in coastal homes. A wealth tax there, or taxes on second and third homes, actually saw a fall in house prices because those that were using property and assets to make a profit rather than live in it felt like the taxes were quite high, that they didn't think it was worth it, and they sold it. And for me, that's a very good thing, because that means there's more houses in the market and it helps first-time buyers, for example. But we need to be looking at those who draw a passive income by just using assets to get even richer. And once again, Rachel Reeves, and I don't suspect any government will do that, not because multimillionaires will leave. I think that's a myth. It's because the same people that fund these political parties won't do it. And ultimately, it either goes on poor people, disabled people, unemployed people, or middle-class people.
All right, Curtis, thank you very much for your very interesting thoughts.